Okay, let's look at some problems where we have a function that's given by a graph, and we're going to answer some questions about these, like the range, maximums and minimums, increasing, decreasing, and maybe some interpretive questions. Okay, so in this question, we have a certain mailman's distance from his home, d of t, in miles, as a function of time t, in hours since midnight on a certain day. So the first question is to express the range of the function in interval notation. So the range of this function looks like it goes from 0, which I guess he's at home, all the way up to 6. And so it looks like it is including both 0 and 6 as values. So in interval notation, that is going to look like this. So we're using square brackets to include those values. Next question is, what was the maximum distance the mailman went from his home, and when was he that far from home? So that is going to be over here. The highest point is 6 miles from home, and it looks like he was there between t equals 17 and 18. And then I think that's, hours since midnight, so 17 o'clock is 5 p.m. to 6 p.m. So this is going to be 6 miles, and then from t equals 17 to 18, or 5 p.m. to 6 p.m. Looks like he ate out at a restaurant, I'm guessing, or he had a late meeting with someone. He stopped at someone's mailbox and chatted for an hour, maybe. No, this is probably after work. Okay, so part C here. During what intervals of time was the distance increasing? So we read increasing and decreasing from left to right. So it's increasing on this interval here, where it's going up from left to right, and then also here, and then here. So those intervals are going to be right here from 8 to 9, from 10 to 12. I'm not sure if you can hear my cat meowing, but he's very upset to not be included in this video. And from 15 to 17. And then we do not include the endpoints in those intervals, because right at the beginning or the end, we would say that it's neither increasing nor decreasing. Okay, so it's going to be 8 to 9, 10 to 12, and 15 to 17. We could do that in interval notation like this: 8 to 9, 10 to 12, and then 17 to, was that right? No, it was, what was it? 15 to 17. I guess maybe I should do this with the union, but it asked me in a plural, so I don't know. Let me just do it like this: 15 to 17. Okay, approximately when was the mailman more than 4 miles from home? So more than 4 miles from home. So 4 miles from home, I'm just looking like across here and looking at when is the graph above there. So from 12 to 13, he was exactly 4 miles from home, it looks like. So my answer then is going to be the interval over here, like from here to here. And it does say approximately, so I'm just going to try to kind of guesstimate what were these t values here. Looks like about a third of the way. So maybe 16.3 to 18.3 approximately. So I'll give that as an interval. Or you could do it with an inequality like this kind of thing. That will be fine as well. Or you could even just say it in words like this, like from 16.3 to 18.3. And those are the t values. All right, let's look at another problem. The graph below gives the population P of Y of a small city from 1995 to 2020 as a function of the year Y. Okay, so Y is actually our X variable, which is a little bit weird, but it's just a letter. So first question, express the range of the function during the years shown in interval notation. So it looks like the minimum is about here, it looks like about 25,000. And then the maximum is up here at 50,000. So I'm going to do 25,000 to 50,000. And I'm going to do that in interval notation. And I think I want to include those values. So I'll do the square brackets. Okay. Next question, what was the minimum population and when was that? I believe it was at the very beginning in I think I miswrote the question because I have 1990 on here and the question says 95, so I think this was supposed to be, sorry, I actually wrote these questions. That was supposed to be 1990. Sorry about that. Okay. So it looks like it was, the minimum was 25,000 and it was in 1990. Okay. Third part, during what intervals of time was the population increasing? So increasing intervals are where it's going up from left to right. So there and there. So it looks like from 1990 to 2005 here, and then 2010 to 2015. It's going up. So I'm going to answer like that. 1990, 2005. And then, what was it? I forgot already. I've been recording for a while now. 2010 to 2015. Okay. All right. And then lastly, approximately when was the population 40,000? So let's look back at the graph. When was it 40,000? I think I see a few times because I'm trying to just see where does it touch this line right here. So it looks like in 2000, in 2010, so there's this point, and then there's this point, which looks like approximately 2017 or 2018, 2017.5 maybe. Okay, so of course I already forgot. 2000, 2010, and 2017. Okay. And maybe about 2017.5, it looked like to me. So I guess July of 2017. All right, last question in this part. The graph below gives the power consumption C of H in megawatts as a function of the hour of day H in hours since midnight for a certain city. Okay, so midnight is over here on the left, and then noon is in the middle, and then I guess midnight is again on the right here. So it should kind of like meet up back over here. It's like circular. Okay, I don't know if this is like the usual demand or if it's actually just one particular day. But anyway, express the range of a function in interval notation. So the minimum looks like 400 and the maximum is 900. So this is going to be from 400 to 900. All right. And then the next question is, what is the maximum power consumption and when is it? So maximum should definitely be during the daylight, right? Looks like max is up there at 900 and it's at exactly noon, I think. Kind of makes sense. The maximum hour when people are up and working and stuff. So it was 900 at t equals 12. All right, next question. During what intervals is power consumption decreasing? Well, I guess when people are going to sleep, but let's see. So decreasing, yeah, so we have decreasing here and we have decreasing here. So this interval is from about 0 to 3, so midnight to 3 a.m. Yeah, people are going to bed. And then from noon to So from 12 all the way to the end, yeah, from noon to midnight. So 0 to 3 and 12 to 24. Twelve to 24. And again, this is interval notation. If you like, you could also answer like this. That would also be fine. Oops. Okay, and last question. Approximately when is the power consumption less than or equal to 500 megawatts? So less than or equal to 500. Looks like there's 2 times, so there's the interval from 0 to 6, and then there's also 24. So put both of those as answers. So 0 to 6 and 24. So 0. Actually looks like I want to include those. Oops, sorry, I dropped my pen. I want to include those endpoints 0 and 6 and 24. Oh, let me draw that equal sign a little less sloppy so it doesn't look like a less than or equal. Okay, and that is it for this part.